10 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. DC's turn to ban. Radiant team pick. DC's turn to pick. 10 seconds remaining.
Pretty good, you know. We got some good dotes. DC versus Blue Pikachu. Was Blue Pikachu an open qualifier team for this?
DC's turn to pick.
Well, hopefully they put on a good showing because they are definitely the underdogs this game, but not every Dota game is impossible, so we'll see if Blue Pikachu can put up a good fight. Yeah, so Necrophos just a very strong first pick in general. He's picked quite often in this meta, mainly because he's quite lane independent, so you can leave him in the lane, and even if he gets punished, as long as he gets his levels, he can work with his team to catch up. I mean, his skill set is always useful in team fights. So is Clockwork's. You know, Clockwork is usually played as a position 4 hero because he's just so strong in the early game. And he only needs levels to scale, so as soon as he hits level 6, he can perform his job in fights, which is to hook people and use cogs and be as annoying as possible. And on the side of Blue Pikachu, Jikiro, similar to Clockwork, very strong in the early game, just this sort of like a lane enforcer, so quite strong against a variety of offlaners or potential dual lanes. Batrider, you know, just a hero you pick when you're looking for an initiator that has a way to farm that blink. He's got the Firefly, he's got the Sticky Napalm, so if you leave him in the jungle for a little bit, he'll always get his blink, and you can always rely on him to get his initiations off, generally.
Radiant team pick.
Oracle.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And so anti-mage is just generally a hero you don't want to play against, especially if you opened up with 2 heroes like Necrophos and Clockwork who don't exactly deal well with anti-mage. And Oracle seems like it was picked in response to the Batrider. I mean, you can always ultimate off the lasso. I mean, Oracle's like one of the best save heroes in the so, and it also doesn't give out any information about DC's lineup aside from the Necrophos. So DC, they're open to pick whatever 2 cores they want. And whenever you have an Oracle, it kind of opens up this style of gameplay where you have this hero that's frontlining, maybe hitting towers or just running headfirst into the fight, and there's always the Oracle to save him later.
Ten seconds remaining.
Oracle feels like a good pick.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Weaver.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they certainly lack CC. They don't really have any counters to the Weaver right now. I mean, you can lasso him, but if that's your only stun for the Weaver, then you might have trouble in fights because Blue Pikachu, they have to target multiple heroes on DC in order for their team fight to work right now, or in order to shut down DC's fight rather. And so there's I see a couple of problems with the Blue Pikachu's lineup that can be solved with these two final core picks. First of all is the amount of CC they have, as you mentioned, but also just the amount of damage. Like these three support heroes on Blue Pikachu, they don't really provide a lot of damage for DC. They don't, and so when you team fight against DC with just these three heroes so far, you have to wonder like how do they actually distribute enough damage to kill multiple heroes on DC? Because they really do have to kill multiple heroes. They have to take care of the Necrophos, the Oracle. I mean, the Weaver can be left for last, but I find it tough right now with their current three heroes. So definitely need something that provide either lockdown and or damage at the moment. Or something like a CK as well would work really well for them.
Turn to ban.
Phantom Lancer.
Sort of. But the problem, and or not really the problem, but DC, they don't actually exactly have enough AoE for the PL, but they still have one last pick. PL still doesn't exactly do well against Weaver, and he needs a Diffusal to deal with the Necrophos, but as soon as that's met, I think DC would have trouble dealing with the Phantom Lancer if this Phantom Lancer gets farmed. The problem is, right now it feels like DC's lineup operates a lot more quickly than Blue Pikachu's, because Blue Pikachu, although PL does well in lane, if his team doesn't get off to a good start, PL can't fight, and PL doesn't farm quickly. PL's the kind of hero that wants to join his team in fights early, use that Spirit Lance, or spam that Spirit Lance, which is so effective in early game fights. And if PL can't do that with his team, then you often see scenarios where the PL might fall behind, and then his item progression isn't where it needs to be in order to deal with DC's lineup. So I see two routes at DC right now. Either they go for the kind of lineup that hits a timing earlier than Blue Pikachu, so they don't even have to deal with a late game kill at all, and instead they pick something like an Alchemist or a Huskar to just end the game quick pace, or they pick something that does well against Phantom Lancer in the late game, and instead of trying to ending it early, they play it safe, split up the map, go for pickoffs, prevent themselves from getting picked off, and just try to end the game with like an Aegis at around half an hour or beyond.
5 seconds remaining.
It's possible. I mean, it's gonna be a very last pick, right? So DC can figure it out. I mean, Huskar looks even better with that, but I mean. The only problem is Huskar doesn't do it well against PL, right? So if DC pick a Huskar, it's not quite all in, but it's sort of all in. Like DC have to establish enough of a lead without losing it. But the Huskar pick works for them. The problem is like PL, like Blue Pikachu's lineup comes up online a little bit slowly. Like their initiation doesn't kick in until the bat has a blink, and the PL doesn't come online until he has a Diffusal. So Ember Spirit's certainly a hero that kind of counters PL, also counters Puck. So I really like that pick. So yeah, Ember Spirit works well against Puck because he works well in lane. You can Sleight of Fist dodge the orb, and then when in the mid and late game, whenever you use chains on the Puck, whenever the Puck gets rooted by chains, you can't phase shift. Puck is quite vulnerable in that state, so I like that pick from Member Spirit. It also gives them a little bit of safe split push, which you always need when you play against a IO lineup.
We are going to hop into in North America ESL One Hamburg qualifiers. Win Vici Storm, Stan King's new team, along with Francis Lee and the likes of those guys. Snaking.
Snaking number 1.
And they are facing against Wheel. So Monkeys, Derp, etc., etc. So really good Dota match going on simultaneously to this one. But I mean, how can you not watch Bulba? As he's going to make it down under the cover of smoke, plant down a very deep ward for the beginning of the game on this Clockwork, and he should be just outside of range of this Bat Rider. So doesn't seem like it was scouted at the moment. And a show of sportsmanship from both sides as the GLHF comes out.
Very nice. Not much really to be said about these lanes. I mean, I'll play Necro.
Yeah.
Should be fine. I mean, he won't he won't die, but he can take a lot of damage from the PL Jakiro. So he has to manage his lane quite well in order to thrive in that lane. But Necro's, as I explained earlier, like Necro's the kind of hero where if his team is able to fight, just contributing those heals in that Reaper site to fights is usually enough to catch the Necro back up. Or having a scenario like we saw with Brax yesterday where his team's making space for him and the Necro just sits in a lane for like a couple of minutes and then bang, he's back in the game.
And in general, IO should be a relatively easy target for the Scythe, so see if MSS has a decent game.
Mid. And that
Blocking
block
up the wave.
Yep. It's not exactly a lane that he wants to trade hits with, not against a Wisp puck, so he probably won't spend too much time in the mid lane since Ember's gonna have a tough, or not really a tough time, but like Ember's gonna get hit no matter what. So Clock's not the kind of hero that can prevent that, so get him set up in the lane, whereas the Clock can start going bottom and help MSS in the spot lane.
Perfect block as well, management there from Abed. Make sure it's not under the range of his tower, but just in front of it, else the tower would have ended up pushing the next wave pretty far on the Radiant edge. So yeah, Bulba, as you mentioned, bottom lane, just trying to be a nuisance here, burn some mana away. Duo of heroes for the Radiant side. But so far, none of these lanes with any kind of glaring kill potential. Abed, has his work cut out for him mid here, but a billion matchmaking points should help him in that endeavor.
For sure. I mean, Weaver and Oracle can kill this bat quite easily if they start getting damage on this bat. Bat can't use his napalm to deal with the Weaver since Weaver moves at maximum move speed at that point. So should be an easy matchup for Mason.
Most matchups. Save, gonna tether up with the Jakiro all in here. Just get a little bit of harass out on Bulba. Level 1 dual breath filled up. Clarity running for this Jakiro as well. They do have vision of him currently. We'll see if Bulba goes and messes with this pull. And it looked like opt to snag up the bounty rune instead. Oh, actually, how does he gain aggro there? What? Gained aggro when he was up on the hill.
It might be close enough, actually. It's by proximity, it's not by vision, actually.
Ah, okay.
There's actually a couple tricks you can do, like, I don't know if you see my map. This camp right here, you can do the same thing. And these ancients, you can do the same thing as well. If you step too close, they will aggro, and even if a creep takes damage next to the camp, they also aggro.
That much I knew. I didn't know about just standing nearby. Abed though, mid lane going forward. Wisp does attend here, and Bulba.
Oh, no kill to be had.
Bulba with the
sitting around with a DD. Will wear out.
Top lane. Fortune's End's going to be fully channeled here, and they get the Purifying Flames out as well. Serve to, in the end, kind of heal the Bat Rider here. Mason, though, chasing forward, has 1 point in the Geminate attack. So can't really keep vision of the Batrider with ease, but Geminate there, one more right click, not there in time.
Dude, Moon messed up. Moon didn't chase. Moon had a nuke up.
Purifying Flames would have ended that.
Batrider gets away.
But it's a trip back to the well. They'll have a little bit of free time in lane. Moon can perhaps execute some pulls, get himself a little experience. Meanwhile, Bulba, bottom lane, is going to find the Jakiro. Death Pulse goes out as well. Jakiro getting low. A couple more Battery Assault takes first blood for MSS.
That also means the Wisp TP'd bottom, so Abbott should have a 1v1 against this puck for a little bit, which gives a little bit of kill potential if the Wisp isn't careful. I mean, Abbott's level 5 here, so with his next Flame Guard, he might actually be able to kill the puck. He doesn't have Sleight of Fist skilled, so that might be a potential level 2 chain for that 2-second duration.
Abbott doing admirably CS-wise. Has weathered the early storm of the Wisp's presence there. Bulba helping out lightly. MSS gonna play a little bit safe here. He does have this deep vision, so well aware that there are 3 heroes in lane at the moment. Do a little bit of trading with the Jakiro.
So now that Bulba, now that Bulba has forced the Wisp back into this lane, they're like, hey, there's really no point in fighting 2v3 into that lane, so Bulba can move around, maybe get a kill on this puck, or just continue to scout out any potential rotations from supports.
Haste Rune bottom. Bulba pinging that out. Grab himself up a smoke. The Wisp's going to look to find it. And inbound is Abed's Ember Spirit. Does not have the level 6 just yet, so can't make a move. Now, contesting the stack top lane will be the Batrider. Fortune's End going to fly out and just straddling the edge of the cliff. The Bat. Last gets a couple there. Perhaps more experience going to sort that away. Addressing that. That'll be all she wrote for that little skirmish. MSS, level 5 now on the Necrophos. Can start forcing in underneath the tower. Exactly that. Gonna get a couple right clicks off on the PL. Forces out the Doppelganger, and now he could be in a little bit of trouble here. MSS pops the Death Pulse, and they will take the PL for free. See MSS do this a lot. As soon as those Sadist stacks kicks in, pops the Ghost Shroud, get a little bit more value out of it.
Yep, I mean, he's full mana. This thing's broken, man.
You heard it here first, but you saw it in your pubs. Abed gets the deny on the Siege Creep mid, and he is level 6 now, has a Haste Rune bottled up as well. He's going to pop that haste and look to go in onto the puck here, just right-clicking him down, gets the chains off. Talked about that route. There is a Dream Coil, phase shift. And immediately up to the high ground, snapping the coil. Abed with the Haste Rune. Illusory Orb not going to be up. There's a phase shift and will be used, but the one last swipe of his Rapier. And Abed will finish the Fairy Dragon. Mid lane.
Really not a lot that the support duo from Blue Pikachu can do about this Ember at this point, so no gank potential on Ember for a while unless he somehow eats a lot of auto attack damage. Which kind of puts Blue Pikachu in a weird spot, because now they're really just farming or really trying to hit their timing, which is going to be the blink on the bat, and maybe a veil or blink on the puck. So no one's really truly able to make space for this PL in the next 5 minutes.
Now going to pop up the Flame Guard. The puck combo at level 4, not enough to completely break it. Has a double damage rune bottled as well. No support inbound, but the Batrider top lane. Peril here. Bulba. It is nighttime. May have been out of vision for most of that. Walk uphill towards the shrine. Gets the ward down. Will catch a glimpse of the Batrider. Moon rotating in now as well. Cog's back. Fortune's End will be there. The shrine is available for this Batrider, but can he get over to it? A couple of nukes coming out from Moon. Battery Assault is there as well. Some stick charges, but the last Purifying Flames will be able to kill him off. Now Abed mid lane going forward for the IO. Gets coiled up, but will be able to kill off the IO with one more Activate Remnant. And now the Illusory Orb actually may put the puck in a dangerous position here. Double damage for Abed. Needs one more right click. Cannot get it. The chains don't land as well. Bit of misfortune for Abed there, and heads up play from him. He will TP out with the coil down.
It's a really timely phase shift from the puck there, so really well played by the puck.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Heartstopper Aura is pretty much keeping the PL right at equilibrium. Not regenning, not losing health, and he will be able to limp away.
Meanwhile, Mason takes that top, takes that top tier 1, bottom tier 1's take a lot of damage. This game's going pretty much in DC's favor. They're 5k net worth ahead. They have, at the moment, they have the more aggressive lineup, so they're able to move so quickly. I mean, Ember Spirit and Weaver are some of the fastest cores in the game, fastest moving, so we'll probably see DC go for a lot of kills in the next couple of minutes just because they don't want this PL or Puck to come online. And, they're in a much better position at the moment, so whenever you have an advantage and you don't push it, it's sort of a waste of your lineup, basically.
MSS level 8, top of the net worth on this Necro. Pace with Abed in the mid lane, got a couple of solo kills under his belts. Doing very well in this offlane, couple levels ahead of the PL opposite him. And just going to continue to pressure this tower.
This Weaver's basically uncontested. Same with the Ember. These two heroes are uncontested at this point until they find a way to initiate on them, or until BP find a way to initiate on them, because Weaver and Ember, they're not gonna let this Bat Rider just walk up to them and lasso them. So for now, they're pretty much just free to farm, which means DC are gonna get a lot more out of the map than BP, because BP have to be afraid of the gank potential from this Ember and from the Necrophos.
Speaking of which, Abed rotating down through to bottom lane and Wisp nearby. MSS not quite going to tip him off just yet, and Abed should be able to get in range of the slight chains. Does catch the chains actually in motion, mid-motion onto save, and the Reaper Scythe, as we mentioned in the draft, going to be an easy target all game long is this IO for MSS. Abed still has 2 spirits and opts not to use them. Easy kill as they pincer in the Jakiro in the tree line. Killing spree for Abed. Meanwhile, the creeps take care of this tier 1 tower, and mid lane 8D maybe a little bit out of position. He's going to jaunt up to the north, but MSS is going to be there with arms open. Has the Ghost Shroud, will pop it up. The coil's going to connect onto 3, actually. They lasso him up, can pull him through to snap it. Abed jumps forward and is out of mana on the Ember Spirit. They are going to take out Bulba on the north side with the PL. MSS still standing strong. Abed sticks up and is able to finish off the Jakiro. Now MSS going to burn down to the Firefly, but they clean house as Moon rotates in, and Abed finds a double kill. Moon maybe dropping. No, he turns with the Purifying Flames, brings down the PL. And meanwhile, Mason on the back end joining the fight finds a Wisp. So overall, 4 heroes, maybe 5 with the Jakiro dropping early, yes, for the Radiant side. MSS does go down and Bulba early on, but taking a lot of resources for Blue Pikachu just to get those 2 heroes. And as far as the metrics go, it's a 1,200 gold swing and about a 900 net gold swing going the way of DC.
I mean,
experience.
It looked like a good fight for BP at the start just because they landed so many spells on the Necro and the Ember Spirit, but you could see, and oh wait, hero?
Overcharge. Slight will get him, and Abed does have the defensive remnant up. Gets a chains off again onto the IO. Mason gonna roll through. Just a couple of right clicks. That'll be enough. Abed with reckless abandon diving in this mid lane, and now bottom. MSS, Bulba, hookshot available. Not gonna use it just yet. PL a bit of a slippery target to attain. Abed rotates down though, fills his bottle back up.
I mean, you can sort of see the limitations of Blue Pikachu's lineup. They don't fight easily into this Ember Spirit, and
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, PL. Okay.
Okay.
That is some NA Dota if I've ever seen it.
I like how it was all in all caps too. But I mean, DC, they drafted really well and they played really well. They won. They pretty much won all 3 lanes, and then you know, all of the fights after that were so easy for DC. Blue Pikachu, they didn't really have an answer for the Ember Spirit, or for any of the heroes for that answer, or for that, yeah.